Have you ever noticed how much of our disappointment comes from our expectations? We expect people to behave a certain way. We expect them to care, to call, to visit. The expectations are limitless. But here's the hard truth: it doesn't always come from them. Our own expectations set us up for a big fall. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Well, I've learned something. The less we expect from people, the more peaceful and content we will become. So let's talk about why we have these expectations in the first place and how we can finally let them go, especially as we get older. So let's all be truthful with ourselves and each other. We all have expectations. I mean, we've probably had them our whole life. I think that's just normal. But there comes a time when we have to learn to let them go. And especially now, if you're over 60, 70, 80, and beyond, we can't have expectations because we are going to live a life of disappointment. Things change, the world changes, people change. The way things used to be just aren't like they are. And when you think back to when we were younger, things were different. We called our parents. We visited them daily if we lived in the same town. And if we lived out of town, we would call them at least once a week and hopefully more. We would get together for holidays. We would go home for Christmas and home for Thanksgiving. It doesn't work that way in today's world, unfortunately. By the time we get up in our senior years, our kids, if we had them, are grown and they have children of their own. And so they're busy with their own family. They have their own priorities. And the kids today are so busy with activities. So, they have to go to the kids' soccer games, cheerleading practices, dance lessons, plays, and everything. And we kind of get left behind, or at least we feel that way. Now, I don't think anybody does that intentionally. It's just the way that it is now. Our friends disappoint us. Our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our spouses. The list goes on and on. I think it tends to get worse as we get older, and that's why I really wanted to talk about this today. Because if we have expectations when we're younger and it doesn't work out, so what? We just move on and find something else to do. But when you get up in years, little things become very important to us. We want our kids to call. We want to see them. We want them to visit. We want them to send us a birthday card. So many different things. And it doesn't happen that way. So we get disappointed. We may want a phone call, and what we get is a text. We may want a birthday card, and we may get an e-card or, a phone message that says happy birthday. We may dream of them coming for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they don't know what we're dreaming, and they're making their own plans with their own family, with their own friends and neighbors. If our kids are married, then there's in-laws involved, and their partners may have brothers and sisters, and you can only spread yourself so thin. So we are setting ourselves up for great disappointment, and it's very hurtful. We expect our friends to treat us a certain way, and if they don't, we're just hurt. We're so disappointed because we had that expectation. We expect things from our neighbors. If I do my hair in a different style or got a new shirt and I think, oh, I can't wait till Dave sees this shirt, or can't wait to hear how he likes the way I did my hair. If he doesn't even notice, well, because I expected him to notice, I'm disappointed. Having expectations really is a silent killer of relationships, of all relationships. Many times I would sit and think, gee, I wish so and so, one of my kids, would just come down for a long weekend or maybe take an extra few days off of work and decide to come here because I miss them. I love them. I want to see them. And then when it doesn't happen, I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I might be resentful or upset. I have no right to put my expectations on them or anyone else. And when you really think about it, it's easy to sit here and talk about our expectations. But guess what? Other people have expectations of us as well, and we let them down. Our friends have certain expectations of us. And when it doesn't work out the way they were hoping, they feel hurt. We hurt them. We didn't know, we didn't plan it, but we did. So, having expectations in general is very normal. Everybody has them, but we have to find a way to let them go. And as I said earlier, I think it's critically important to do that now at this age because the older we get, we've lost our parents, siblings, neighbors, many friends, and we're lonelier. And we just want to hold on to who's left, whether that be a couple friends or your kids or grandkids or whoever it is. And those expectations get out of control. So let's talk about some of the ways, maybe 5 ways, of how we can learn to let them go. Number one, recognize when you're expecting something, when you're starting to create and set up that expectation in your own mind. And then try to take a breath or think of one word that will pull you out of that. For me, that word would be peace because I want peace in my life. I want to be content. So if I remind myself of that, I'm not going to travel down that road where I get into all those expectations. I can't control what someone else does, but I can control my own happiness. So that's what I need to focus on so that it doesn't get a hold of me right away. If I start thinking, well, gee, if they really love me or understood I'm lonely or I'm this or I'm that, then, they would come or they would call. Well, that's a false expectation because love shows up in many ways, not always in the way we want it to look. So we can't pass that judgment on someone else because they disappointed us by not meeting our expectations. Number two, replace expectations with appreciation. If you're expecting something, a friend, neighbor, child, whoever, to call and they don't, if they happen to send a text that week, then appreciate that. Appreciate the fact that they did think of you. They sent a text. They didn't give you what you were expecting, but they did acknowledge you and how much they love you and think about you. So learn to appreciate that. And don't think of what you didn't get, but think of what you did get. Gratitude and appreciation go such a long way to soften hurt feelings and feelings that are going in a wrong direction. We just got to look at things through a different lens, not through our own. Number three, let people be who they are. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody has different priorities in life and demands and obligations. Nobody is here to play some major role in a script that we're, you know, working on in our head. We can't expect that from anyone. If I am hoping or expecting that somebody's going to come down and visit me on my birthday or the weekend of my birthday, well, that's my expectation. And if what I receive is a phone call, a text, a card, then I need to learn to be grateful for that, grateful that they thought about me. Number four, find joy in surprises, not plans. I think everybody loves a good surprise. And like I said, we may plan in our head, oh, I just know they'll come for Christmas or Easter or whatever. Just be surprised. They may show up, they may not. They may call one day out of the blue, whether it's your family, friend, or whoever, and just say, hey, you going to be around? We want to come and see you. Wouldn't that be wonderful? That's a nice surprise. When we stop clinging to things the way we think things should be, then we will start appreciating the way things really are. And those things will bring us happiness. Those things will meet our needs. And number five, practice acceptance. Acceptance just isn't easy, but I'll tell you what acceptance is, and it's freedom. Freedom from the torment that we put ourselves through because of our expectations of others. Freedom isn't giving up. It's it's learning to accept that you cannot control anybody else. You can only control your own happiness and contentment. I'm not saying it's easy to accept that our expectations are not going to be met, not in the ways that we want them to be met. But the sooner we come to terms with that, the better off we're going to be. Everything starts out one way and then ends up another. Maybe when you were younger and you were married, and so, you went to your parents' house, you and your husband or partner or whatever, every Christmas or every Thanksgiving dinner. You made it a point to go to your parents' house or grandma's house. But then as you got established in your life, in your career, you started having a family of your own. You make your own traditions and new traditions. And then it's not so easy to automatically go to grandma's or your mom's house for Thanksgiving or any other holiday. It changes. And we don't think about it at the time, but when we get older, we realize that, it does hurt. But we've hurt people through the years by disappointing them and not meeting their expectations. So I'd really like to hear from you. Are you dealing with expectations? Well, I think we're all dealing with them, but Have you come to a place of acceptance? I know it's a work in progress for me. I know what I need to do, and I'm trying to take these 5 steps in order to remain content and peaceful, because that's what's most important to me in my life. My expectations aren't as important to me as they used to be. My peace tops everything. So, how do you deal with expectations? Do you get hurt? Do you talk about it? Do you feel let down? Do you feel like you've learned to kind of grow out of that? I'd really like to know, and we can help each other by reading the comments and sharing. Maybe we can help someone who's really struggling with it, and we can help them get to a better place. So, my friends, the next time the sting of disappointment hits you, just ask yourself the question: do I feel this way because of what happened or because of what I wanted to happen? There's a big difference there. See, back to those expectations again. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from Philippians 4:11. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. That verse really spoke to me because of what I was talking about. And again, it all comes down to acceptance and being content. I know we have all gone through many disappointments in life. We feel that many people have let us down. Many people have not met our expectations. Did we have the right to have them of another person? I think not. Just like other people don't have the right to have expectations of us. We have to see both sides. I think we tend to look at things one-sided. Like we're thinking of our own expectations. But why are we any more special than someone else? We all make mistakes. We all do this to each other. And we have to let it go now. We have to learn to be content in any circumstance. And God gives us a way to have that peace and to have that contentment. Paul wasn't saying that contentment came naturally. He learned it, and we can learn it too. The secret to peace and contentment is not getting what we expect. It's learning to appreciate what we have. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.